In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on December 5th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Indiana Pacers versus Chicago Bulls. The Pacers enter this matchup with a long injury list. They continue to miss Tyrese Halliburton, Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith, Quentin Jackson, and Ben Shepherd. The Bulls also deal with absences, as they have ruled out Jalen Smith and Kevin Huerter, while Zach Collins, Kobe White, and Trey Jones are all questionable. Both teams carry significant health concerns, so trust in either side remains low from game to game. Indiana's problems this season show up again and again. In their last 2 outings, they gave up 135 points in each contest and lost both times. The latest setback came against the Denver Nuggets, where they had no answer for Jamal Murray. That matchup exposed their defensive issues on the perimeter, and those same weaknesses can surface again against Chicago, a team with plenty of guards who handle the ball and create offense. The Pacers did manage to take the first meeting of the season by a score of 103-101. That game, however, took place on their home floor. The setting now moves to Chicago, and that shift matters because Indiana has yet to win on the road. They sit at 0-13 straight up away from home, which highlights a major gap between their home form and their performance in hostile arenas. Chicago also comes in with recent struggles. The Bulls have dropped their last 5 games, which increases the pressure on this home date. They have played far better at the United Center, where they own a 6-3 straight-up record this season and have taken 13 of their last 18 games. That home profile gives them something stable to lean on, even as the losses pile up. On paper, the Bulls still carry significant talent. The roster has enough quality for a rebound to make sense, especially when they get production from their key starters. They also play at the second fastest pace in the league, which means they push the ball and try to get into their offense early in the shot clock. Given the Pacers' injuries and defensive problems, that tempo can create real pressure on Indiana over 4 quarters. From a betting angle, Chicago has offered more stability at home against the spread. The Bulls sit at 6-3 against the number in their own building, which reflects solid performance relative to expectations in that setting. The Pacers, in contrast, combine poor road results with a depleted roster and recent defensive meltdowns, even though Pascal Siakam gives them a strong option if he finds a big performance. With Josh Giddey and Nikola Vucevic available to anchor the attack for Chicago, the matchup leans toward the home side on both talent and situation. As our first pick for this matchup, the Chicago Bulls to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Indiana averages 110.2 points per game on 42.6% shooting from the field and gives up 119.4 points on 47.4% shooting. Their attack leans on volume and effort more than elite efficiency, and their defense has sagged, especially in recent games where they have allowed high outputs. From deep, the Pacers connect on 31.7% of their three-point attempts and hit 76.7% at the free throw line. Those numbers sit in a modest range and do not suggest an explosive shooting team. On the glass, they pull down 34.8 rebounds per game, which limits their second chance opportunities and can slow down their overall scoring if the first shot does not fall. Chicago's season profile looks different. The Bulls average 120 points per game while shooting 47.3% from the field, which shows a more efficient offense. They allow 123.1 points on 46.9% shooting, so their games often turn into high-scoring contests with trading baskets on both ends. From the perimeter, Chicago shoots 37.3% from three-point range and 78.9% from the line. These marks show a stronger shooting base than Indiana, especially from beyond the arc. They also dominate the glass in comparison, with 46.2 rebounds per game, which creates extra possessions and helps sustain their scoring pace when the initial look does not drop. The Pacers hold opponents to 32.2% from deep, which indicates that they can contest the three-point line despite their overall defensive issues. And that detail matters when they face a team that depends on outside shooting as part of its attack. The gap on the boards, along with the Bulls' ability to generate offense at home, shapes the likely flow of the game. When you factor in Indiana's recent offensive inconsistency, their injury issues, and the potential for Chicago to control tempo and glass without turning the game into a constant track meet for all 48 minutes, the full statistical picture supports a lower-scoring final outcome than the surface numbers might suggest. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Philadelphia 76ers versus Milwaukee Bucks. The Philadelphia 76ers visit the Milwaukee Bucks at Fiserv Forum on Friday night in a matchup shaped by injuries and schedule spots. Philadelphia comes in short-handed, with Paul George, Kelly Oubre Jr. and Trendon Watford all out of the lineup. Milwaukee has its own major absence, as Giannis Antetokounmpo sits along with Taurean Prince. Philadelphia has started to build momentum against a softer stretch of opponents. The 76ers come into this game after a dramatic win over the Golden State Warriors the night before, which should give them a lift, even though they are on the second leg of a back-to-back. That finish can boost confidence for a rotation that still leans on Tyrese Maxey as the primary engine on both ends of the floor. Milwaukee stopped a cold spell by beating the Detroit Pistons, even after losing Antetokounmpo early in that contest. The supporting cast carried more of the load and found enough scoring to get across the line. That result sits a bit out of step with the larger pattern, since Milwaukee has struggled in games without Antetokounmpo this season and has not set a consistent standard when short its star. The point spread here stays tight for a reason. On one side, Philadelphia profiles as the more stable group at the moment, yet carries the burden of travel and fatigue after playing the Warriors. On the other side, Milwaukee plays at home but must operate without its focal point and now faces noise around its franchise player. As talk grows that Antetokounmpo may want to leave the Bucks, these distractions add to the on-court concerns. The 76ers also have a recent mental edge after beating the Bucks in an overtime meeting a couple of weeks ago. That result supports the idea that Philadelphia can handle this matchup even in a close game. When Antetokounmpo sits, Milwaukee's track record drops, both in terms of efficiency and overall performance, and that pattern fits the broader view that the Bucks have not met expectations without him. With Maxey in position to shoulder another heavy scoring and playmaking load, and with the 76ers playing with new energy from the Warriors win, the matchup tilts toward Philadelphia as the more trustworthy side despite the disadvantage in rest. As our first pick for this matchup, the Philadelphia 76ers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. From a totals angle, both teams bring clear offensive upside but also show defensive and shooting profiles that can cap scoring. The 76ers average 118.3 points per game on 46.2% shooting from the field and give up 118 points on 46.5% shooting. They convert 36.4% of their three-point attempts and hit 80.6% at the foul line. On defense, they allow opponents to shoot 34.5% from deep and they secure 44.6 rebounds per game, which helps limit second chance points. The Bucks average 115.5 points per game on an efficient 49.2% shooting clip and allow 117.7 points on 47.5% shooting. They shoot an impressive 41% from three-point range, but only 70.7% at the free throw line, which can leave points unused at the stripe. Defensively, they allow 36% shooting from beyond the arc and pull down 39.9 rebounds per game, a lower figure than Philadelphia and a sign that they can lose the battle on the glass. With Antetokounmpo out, Milwaukee's scoring ceiling drops since much of their rim pressure, transition game and whistle volume flows through him. The offense then leans more on perimeter shooting, which can lead to streaky stretches and longer empty trips. Philadelphia, on the other hand, must manage tired legs on the second night of a back-to-back, which can slow tempo and lead to more half-court possessions. The 76ers' strong free throw rate can lift their scoring, yet fatigue can also push them toward more deliberate sets and shorter rotation minutes, which often trims pace. When you combine these shooting numbers, the rebounding edge for Philadelphia and the absence of Antetokounmpo, the structure of the game points toward a scoring environment that comes in lighter than the posted total. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Los Angeles Clippers versus Memphis Grizzlies. The Los Angeles Clippers face the Memphis Grizzlies at the FedEx Forum on Friday night in a matchup of two short-handed teams. The setting is a true road test for the Clippers and a chance for the Grizzlies to lean on their home court. The Clippers remain without Bradley Beal, Derrick Jones Jr., and Bogdan Bogdanović. Those absences cut into their scoring and their wing depth. On the other side, the Grizzlies are also far from full strength, with Ja Morant, Ty Jerome, Brandon Clark, and Javon Small all ruled out. Both rosters must rely on role players and depth pieces rather than their full star power. The Clippers carry strong individual talent, yet their season form has not matched that profile. They sit on only 6 wins, which speaks to poor results for a team with this level of skill. On the road, they stand at 3-9 straight up, so they have struggled to travel and close games in hostile arenas. Against the spread, they are 6-16, and a cover rate of 27.2% has hurt backers over and over again. That track record makes it hard to treat this group as trustworthy until it shows real change. Their last outing did give them some relief, as they produced a dominant win over the Hawks. That performance showed what their ceiling can look like when the pieces click and the offense flows. It also cleared some mental fog after a poor run. Still, one strong game does not erase weeks of inconsistency. The broader pattern remains choppy effort, shaky defense, and late-game issues. There is also noise around the team away from the floor. The way they handled Chris Paul has created more distraction and talk around the locker room and the organization. The situation adds pressure and scrutiny at a time when the group needs stability. It is fair to describe the current state in Clipperland as unsettled. Memphis has a very different profile. The Grizzlies have taken heavy hits from injuries, yet they have continued to scrap and compete. Even without key names, they put together a run of 5 wins in 6 games. That stretch showed that the system, effort, and depth can still carry them for long spells. Their most recent game ended in a close loss to the Spurs, so they come in battle-tested. The Grizzlies have also shown that they can handle this specific opponent. They went into Los Angeles last week and beat the Clippers on the road as 6.5-point underdogs. That result confirms that the gap between the teams on the court is smaller than the names on the rosters might suggest. It also gives Memphis a fresh source of confidence as they now meet at the FedEx Forum. In this spot, the Clippers bring more raw talent but a poor record, shaky road form, and extra off-court drama. Memphis brings a long injury list, but also better recent chemistry, a stronger track record for effort, and a recent head-to-head win. The matchup sets up as a test of trust and potential against trust in current form, with the Grizzlies catching points at home. As our first pick for this matchup, the Memphis Grizzlies to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. On the total side, the Clippers' season numbers point to a team that can score but also give up plenty. They are averaging 112.3 points per game on 46.9% shooting from the field. Those figures show a capable offense with solid efficiency. At the same time, they allow 118.8 points on 47.8% shooting, which signals soft resistance on defense and frequent high-scoring contests. From distance, the Clippers are shooting 35.7% from beyond the arc. That is a respectable mark and supports their scoring output. At the free throw line, they sit at 84.3%, which boosts their offensive floor because they cash in at the stripe. Defensively, they allow opponents to hit 39.3% from deep. That is a significant problem, since it turns many of their games into 3-point shootouts. They also grab 41.1 rebounds per game, which is decent but not dominant, and does not always end possessions cleanly. The Grizzlies show a similar high-scoring pattern in their raw results. They are averaging 113.4 points per game, slightly more than the Clippers, but on only 43.9% shooting from the field. That mix suggests volume, offensive boards, and free throws help make up for less efficient shooting. On defense, they are giving up 117.6 points on 47.9% shooting, so they also struggle to keep opponents in check. From three-point range, Memphis is shooting 33.1%, which is below league average and less efficient than the Clippers. At the line, they hit 81.6%, a solid figure that still adds steady scoring. Opponents are shooting 37.3% from beyond the arc against them, which again leans toward open looks and strong outside nights for the other side. On the glass, they pull in 45.7 rebounds per game, so they have an edge in rebounding volume and second chance chances. Put together, the numbers point toward offenses that can score in bunches, defenses that allow clean looks and three-point attempts, and pace factors that push final scores into higher ranges. Both teams also show weakness at the defensive arc, which can lead to quick swings and big runs in either direction. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Dallas Mavericks versus Oklahoma City Thunder. The Dallas Mavericks visit the Oklahoma City Thunder at Paycom Center on Friday night in a matchup where the road team enters short-handed. Dallas remains without Derek Lively, Dante Exum, and Kyrie Irving, and they may also miss Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington, who both sit on the injury report as questionable. Oklahoma City takes the floor without Isaiah Hartenstein, Alex Caruso, and Lou Dort, so both rotations have gaps even if the core stars remain in place. Given the injury list and the venue, the Mavericks were always set to open as clear underdogs on the road. Even so, their recent form earns respect. They come into this contest on the back of 3 straight victories, and those wins help steady a team that has spent much of the season juggling lineups. On the other side, the Thunder continue to roll. They just escaped a scare against the Warriors, and that result pushed their win streak to 13 straight games and marked their 14th win of the season by double digits. That mix of dominance and resilience shapes market expectations for this meeting. From a spread angle, recent performance against the number tells a different story than the straight-up record. Oklahoma City keeps stacking wins, but they have failed to cover in 6 of their last 10 contests. This group no longer mirrors the version from the previous 2 seasons that made a habit of beating inflated spreads. As results pile up, public confidence rises, and the lines move to a range that can be tough to clear. Dallas, in contrast, trends in a more stable direction. They are getting healthier as a group even without their full guard rotation, and they ride that 3-game win streak into a building where they have had past success. Head-to-head, the Mavericks have been one of the few teams to give the Thunder regular problems. They have taken 7 of the last 10 meetings, and that recent history supports the idea that this matchup does not always follow the broad narrative of Oklahoma City control. Even if this version of Dallas looks different, the pattern shows that their style and size can disrupt what the Thunder like to do. That context matters when a single game line prices in a large gap between the teams. Dallas has leaned into a defensive identity that suits road games against elite offenses. In their recent 118-108 win over Miami, they showed how their defense can steer tempo and control shot quality. The Heat finished that game at only 44% from the field, while Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis supplied enough scoring to keep Dallas in front without the need for a shootout. Over the full season, the Mavericks allow only 111 points per game, which ranks 4th in the league, and they sit first in opponent three-point percentage at 32.6%. That combination of sound half-court defense and strong work at the arc fits well against a Thunder team that relies on perimeter efficiency. Catching double-digit points with a team that guards this well has clear appeal. A strong defense can slow possessions, force foes into more half-court sets, and narrow the margin for error required to stay inside a big number. If Dallas controls pace, limits transition, and continues to run shooters off the line, they can turn this into a more methodical game than Oklahoma City prefers. Their recent history against the Thunder and their current defensive form support the idea that they can stay attached on the scoreboard even on the road. With that in mind, the most reasonable expectation is that Oklahoma City extends its home dominance and still has to work through a competitive effort from Dallas that keeps the margin in a manageable range for the underdog. As our first pick for this matchup, the Dallas Mavericks to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Dallas enters this game as the lowest scoring team in the league at just 106.3 points per game, ranking 30th in that category. Their offensive ceiling rests on a modest level, so they depend on defense to remain in games against stronger attacks. That approach shows in the numbers. They allow only 111 points per game, which ranks 4th, and they hold opponents to the lowest three-point percentage in the league at 32.6%. They slow pace, contest shots, and turn most matchups into a grind. Oklahoma City brings the opposite profile on offense. The Thunder average 122.3 points per game, good for 2nd in the league, and they shoot 49.1% from the field, which ranks 5th. They thrive when the game flows, when they can attack early in the clock, and when their ball movement creates clean looks around the arc and at the rim. At the same time, they pair that high-scoring attack with top-tier defense. They allow only 107 points per game, which ranks 1st, and they limit opponents to 42.4% shooting, also 1st. They can win a faster game and they can shut teams down in a slower one. The clash of styles sets up a tight scoring environment rather than a track meet. Dallas lacks firepower, leans on strong half-court defense and prefers a slower tempo. Oklahoma City can score at a high rate, but they also defend at the best level in the league, which places extra pressure on a limited Mavericks offense. With both teams built to squeeze possessions and take away easy looks, and with Dallas in particular struggling to put up big totals, this matchup points toward a contest where every possession carries weight and the final score lands on the lower side of the board. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed, subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.